whenever this program comes online, everything we want to talk about is strictly about education, and you know that education is always our priority. Now, a lot of feedbacks, a lot of clapbacks from people about every episode of the show, and it has shown that we are taking the giant stride, we are taking the lead role in revitalizing the narrative surrounding our education. We talk about the past, we talk about the present, we talk about the future of education in Nigeria, and we will always do that every Saturday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. on Smash FM 88.1. And when we talk about education, when we talk about changing the narrative surrounding education in our country, you know that one institution is leading the forefront, one institution is taking the charge, and that institution, that citadel of learning, is Harvard College of Science, Business and Management Studies. Welcome to today's episode of the show, and what we are going to be discussing today is a topic that a lot of people have spoken about in corners of the world. It's a topic that I've argued about so many times. It's a topic that I'm sure that you and your people have spoken about, the discrepancies, the dichotomy surrounding this very, very important topic that we are going to be discussing today. And as usual, I have my panelists in the studio. I have the face of leadership, the face of authority when it comes to Harvard College of Science, Business and Management Studies, Dr. Adebayo Oluwatosin. You're welcome, sir.
Yeah, good morning, sir. And good morning, my people too.
Also, as usual, we have the usual suspects in the studio. We have Miss Mary Ebosimba. She's always with us on every episode of the show. So, Miss Mary, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, sir. Good morning to our listeners and our viewers on Facebook.
As usual, we have Miss Kemi Aderoju behind the scenes, doing what she knows how to do best. And Manfa is producing the show today. Miss Mary, what has been happening at Harvard? What are the new things that people need to, talk about? People need to know the information, and also, like I like you to do on the show every week, talk about the admission processes and questions that people need to answers to questions that people have when it concerns admission to Harvard College of Science, Business and Management Studies.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, our admission is still going on, which we've been having students applying and all that.
Okay.
So there is this questions we usually get lately,
right,
particularly on our HND application.
Okay.
So we usually have students who calls in, as a prospective student who calls in and like, what is the criterion or what is the requirement for me to study some HND courses?
Okay.
We have HND courses like software and web development.
Okay.
We have the networking and cloud computing. So for that course, for those two courses I just mentioned, if a student did ND, maybe did computer science in his or her ND at his or her ND level, such student is qualified for those courses. Then for the journalism and media studies and for the film and multimedia studies. So for someone who wants to take such courses at HND level, the person must have done mass communication at his or her ND level. So we usually get those questions and students are not really cleared on that aspect. So I want to use this media to clarify that so that the students would know that, okay, if I'm going for this particular course, this is what I need for this particular course. Okay, so that's that for on that. Then the other courses, which are the ND courses, like we usually announce, we have the business administration, we have the accounting, that's the accountancy, we have the economics and cooperative management, we have banking and finance, we have crime management. Same thing as HND level as well. Now for the HND application, normally when a student is done with his or her ND, the student has to go through undergo a mandatory 1 year IT. So for the HND aspect, now for students who would be applying from other schools, such students must have undergone the 1 year mandatory industrial training before applying, because I usually get such questions as well, like, okay, if I just finish my HND this year, ND this year, can I apply for HND the following year? The normal and the right procedure and the right criteria is the students must have undergone 1 year industrial training before proceeding for HND.
Okay. So that's basically the information coming out of Harvard this week.
Yes.
And for those who want to check online, the requirements, the details, everything they need is www.harvardcollege.edu.ng.
And you can also reach us through our customer care line, which is 081 21 355038 or 080 64 604940.
Beautiful. Thank you, Miss Mary. Now, we need to kickstart the show. We need to talk about that important topic that I said you are going to be so interested in. So our parents at home, our guardians, the students, you really need to listen to this one, because this one is something that you have been talking about. It's something that is currently affecting not just the student, but in employment sphere, in employment space. The talk will never go away. That's why we want to address it on the show this morning. Now, the topic of today is the future of higher national diploma, HND, in Nigeria's educational landscape. The future of higher national diploma, HND, in Nigeria's educational landscape. Has there been any national dialogue or government intervention on this issue? Dr. Adebayo Oluwatosin.
Yeah, thank you very much. Looking at this topic, actually, we all know that this particular topic is a topic that has been generating for a very long time. But if I said there is no any dialogue or government intervention, that means I'm not correct. I will tell you that for many years, government have intervened in this issue.
Okay.
Many stakeholders have intervened in this issue. But many looking at it, the polytechnic that offer HND, if you have to look at it very well, how do we come about it?
Okay.
From the one in this country that today it has now become a problem. What we thought is supposed to be a problem solver today is now generating a lot of issues that even those that have HND are complaining because of the dichotomy between the HND and the BS.c or bachelor degrees older. Let's look at it from the evolution of polytechnic, which believe that it started in the United Kingdom in 1960s. That was where Nigeria got the idea from. And as of today, in 1988, if I may right, I can't say a particular month, but in 1988, the polytechnic in the United Kingdom all has become a university.
Okay.
Which the reason is well known today. Now, when looking at the intervention, on the 21st of May 2024, National Board for Technical Education invited all stakeholders, including the Federal Ministry of Education and the former Minister for State for Education, Professor Sununu, was among the key speakers. And this thing was held at the Test Fund Building Auditorium in Abuja. And I was even there because as a stakeholder in education. And this is an issue that we were talking about on that very day. And the MBT presented their recommendation that very year. And their recommendation was based on the fact that they are looking at what is going on in the labor market, looking at the problem of what is happening. Now, is it how we are going to continue that HND holder cannot meet up with the BSc holder? And along the line, those issues were discussed.
Okay.
And if you are look at it, I mean, very well. Among the their recommendation on that day was that polytechnics should be empowered to award their own Bachelor of Technology degree by amending by amending the Federal Polytechnic Act. That is the act that established Polytechnic. That is their first recommendation. And the second one, that admission into Polytechnic degree program to be through the ND route only, given the multiplicity of advantages. And the third one was gradually phase out admission into HND program. About 5 recommendations were given. Then the NBT and National Polytechnic Commission, together with relevant professional regulatory body, to join accredit the Bachelor of Technology degree program in Polytechnic. Then the last one was Polytechnic, like College of Education, should retain their names, even as a degree awarding institution. All these things were submitted and it was taken to the National Assembly. Up to today, we've not had anything. And if you look at it, like I said, that this is not their first time.
Yes.
Part of the recommendation that we made that day was that was also mentioned, discussed about National Board for Technical Education should change their name and become National Commission for Technical Education. Because merely looking at it, we have NUC, National University Commission. Now, why NB their own, the body that control Polytechnic is what? Is a board. If you look at College of Education, their own is also a commission, not a board. Those are the things that. So government, stakeholders, a lot of people have intervened in this issue. But we don't know what our federal government are doing. Now, if you look at it again, Lagos State government change Lagos State Polytechnic to University of Technology.
Yes.
That's the one at Ikorodu. Now, it's not that Polytechnic education is not good, but there are so many arguments about the establishment, about the system. And part of the argument is that when Polytechnic was established, was funded in Nigeria, they started with low standard, particularly from their requirements. And when you look at it, I remember vividly then, before JAMB took over admission into Polytechnic, admission requirement of Polytechnic is just for credits. If you want to do pre-end, if you have 2 credits, then you can do it. But in as much that it has been upgraded from that level to the university requirement level now, I don't think that there is a problem, or what is delaying, or what government should have done to stop this dichotomy whereby a HND holder cannot compete with what? With BS.c holder. So to me, government have done the needful, but they are not completed what they have started, and they are not done the right thing that they're supposed to do.
All right, sir. So, sir, basically, what is the reason for this discrimination between the HND and the BS.c? Because it is obvious that there is a huge gap of discrimination between them in all sectors of life where these things are applicable. So what is the reason between the discrimination between the HND and the BS.c?
Yeah, the reason is, to my own knowledge,
Okay.
I think the reason between HND and bachelor degree is one.
Okay.
We call it higher national diploma.
Okay.
Maybe by the name. They don't see HND holder as a degree program. They don't see it as a degree. That is number one. Then number two, like I said, that from the foundation, the Yoruba people said, amuku eru ewo, olokele nwo, wo isale. And you understand? If the foundation is rotten, what can a righteous man do? But the issue is even if you look at that word, it's a question. Polytechnic has been given good and quality education in terms of practical knowledge. But because their foundation is the problem, their foundation is the problem, and the government policy that establish it, and is also the problem. And that is why that discrimination is what? That's why discrimination is so obvious. Whereby I'm working in the ministry.
Okay.
There is a level that HND can get to before he will retire. There is a position HND level can be before he retire. Now, I'm an HND holder in mechanical engineering.
Okay.
And also BSc or BTech in mechanical engineering. And both of us are working under government parastatal. Before you know, the BSc holder will be made as a boss
over the HND.
Over the HND holder. They will see him as an engineer, while the HND will be seen as a technologist. That is where the problem is. So the government is the main reason behind this, because they are the one that established polytechnic, and they are the one that put the policy that is not in favor of the polytechnic degree holder. HND holder. Thank you.
So now that we know that the government is largely to be blamed for the way people look at HND and the BS.c, why is it that the labor market, both the public and the private, are still discriminating?
It's the same thing I've said, sir.
Okay.
That it's still the same thing. It's still the government. If the government is ready to do the right thing to do, they know what to do. During Buhari,
okay,
a bill was passed, but the bill was not signed into the law concerning that to stop discrimination between HND and what and make this thing equal. And the same last year also, like I said, okay, the NBT came up with the idea that okay, let's stop issuing of HND in a polytechnic and turn it to Bachelor of Technology. So the labor market are discriminating, both public and private, simply because it is the foundation. It is the policy that the government, laid down. So there is no way that discrimination will not continue. And now look at it again. I have HND.
Okay.
I want to do what they call conversion to BSc. The policy of the NUC is that you have to go and start from level 300. As if I have ND. Now, if we look at NC today, almost all the NC Nigerians have converted to have given the power to what? To issue Bachelor of Education. So let potentially become the same thing. So discrimination is there. But the problem is that the government have not done the right thing.
Okay.
And this is really affecting. And you cannot, if you look at it very well, even the labor market that has discriminated, the HND holder, they are better than some BSc holder.
Because that's my next question. My next question is, between the HND and the BSc, who is better in terms of academic and professional performances?
Now, in terms of academics, let's look at this in terms of academics and professional performances. Number one, before if you bring the two of them together, I will not say HND are better. I will not say BSc bachelor degrees are better.
Okay.
But let's put them into practice. You will realize that HND holder will perform better than BSc. In terms of what? Now, what are we talking about?
Okay.
We are talking about the practical aspects of this thing. Some years ago, do you know that HND holder used to pass ICANN more than the BSc? You know, we are in the era of this Sheikh Ginseng, or what do you call it? Gen Z generation that they don't read any longer. But those days, I remember vividly that one of the best mass communication product in these countries from Moshood Abiola Polytechnic.
Exactly.
That people are proud of the Polytechnic then, that okay, there is no way you see a graduate of Mapoli that will mass communication then that will not say, okay, no, we know where you are coming from. Then go and see what is happening in it. I know some university in Nigeria today, even private, that's running mass communication, they don't even have a single studio. But if MBT will come either to public or a private polytechnic, without studio, you can't get accreditation for, even approval to run the program. Talk less of what? having accreditation for it. To tell you that MBT, they are more serious than so academically it depends on the individual today, but before HND they are good. Professionally, no, HND older. They know what they are doing practically and they can perform better than many BS.c older.
So now speaking about MBTE, what role do they have to play to curb or stop this discrimination?
Well, National Board for Technical Education have been playing so many roles.
Okay.
At the beginning, I said last year, May 24, by precisely, they are the one that organized the workshop,
okay,
or symposium that we had in Abuja on about this issue that we are talking about today. They've written letter to the federal, they are just an agency under Federal Ministry of Education. Yes. But when you look at them, they've tried all they could. Among them are number one, the present Executive Secretary of MBT, Professor Bugaji, went ahead and brought university into Nigeria from abroad. For HND holder that want to do conversion to BS.c, we call it top-up. Along the line, NUC kicked against it. But the process that the ES took was legitimately, whereby Federal Ministry of Education gave him approval to do that. And in the process, he used that to tackle NUC. That if we bring, you people say that HND holder have to spend 2 or 3 years to have a BS.c. Now here we have one that can do it for 1 year. And there are universities from recognized university all over the world. Now, any student can apply through it, have their lecture, and get their certificate. And after that, the process of having a degree from other countries is that when you have your degree, you pass through Department of Evaluation. They will evaluate the certificate and give a letter of recommendation that after the evaluation, they will give a letter of recommendation that this university is awarding degree university in so country, and the degree given to so person is hereby equivalent to the any university award degree in Nigeria. And that was what the man used to tackle NUC then, and that was stopped there. So, and they put all those universities in the portal of MBT, and all the portals in Nigeria have access to it. Okay. Our HND can also apply, receive lecture at a cheaper rate. Because the MBT believe that how can an HND holder, someone that has spent almost 6 years to have HND, now go back again to go and spend another 2 or 3 years because of bachelor degree? And that is it. Then written so many ideas, letter to the government. MBT have done that so many occasions. Organizing workshops, symposium, they have done that several occasions. You see that there are some people still behind this issue, and that is why their last submission last year was that, okay, if you cannot stop this dichotomy, let all the polytechnic in Nigeria start awarding Bachelor of Technology and stop the HND. Now, if you look at it, many countries in the world today also they stop running a polytechnic. They converted their polytechnic to university, like Australia, New Zealand, Canada, Singapore, Finland, Netherlands, Sweden, Denmark, and so on like that. They've converted polytechnic to what? To university. And that is what we are now saying, that okay, if polytechnic will remain, let it be a degree awarded institution, whereby they can be awarded Bachelor of Technology. That was the last submission of the ES, and which we are still expecting the approval from the a debate about it at the National Assembly,
Okay.
and then approval from the federal government.
So basically, everybody listening at home, you've been able to, answer a lot of questions that has been you've been pondering about. Now we know that to curb this discrimination, this dichotomy between HND and the BSc, the government has to do more. And if, like Dr. Adebayo said, if you are not going to say, okay, if you are still sticking with the BSc lines, allow these polytechnics to award what they want to award instead of telling people to now go back to 300 level and then start again. I know a lot of people will have questions to ask from home. So if you want to ask questions on what we have discussed this morning on the discrimination and dichotomy between the HND and the BSc, you can call 0814 333 830 0814 333 830 or 0904 888 1881 0904 888 1881. When we come back, we'll go to the next segment of the show. And if you want to ask any question at all about what we have discussed about HND and BSc, the discrimination and the dichotomy, Dr. Adebayo is still in the studio. We will be right back. I want to ask you a question. Now, have we seen a situation where students, if it's ever happened, that a student will cross from a university into a polytechnic?
Yes, I've seen it.
Oh, okay.
A student was studying a particular course in university. I don't want to mention the name of the university.
Okay.
After some time, she realized that it's through a friend. A friend now told her that they are doing the same course. But unfortunately, a course that is used to teach them in university at 400 level, a friend is doing it 200 level.
Wow.
Now, mainly looking at the curriculum. Sometimes parents think that the word that university, that university, because of the dichotomy, is still a problem. If you look at people that have HND and background and now have BSc to masters or even BSc, let those with BSc and those HND background come and sit. You see a very clear difference there. You know that this student, because of that, a parent encourage her
To switch.
to move, to leave that university and come back to Polytechnic. It's not about certificates. We have been telling people today, even in abroad, nobody cares about your certificate. Even in Nigeria today now, even for the fact that there is this dichotomy, do you know that some banks employ HND holder than BSc? Today, yes. Now, some organizations employ HND holder than BSc. It's not about certificate, but what can you prove? Can you defend the certificate? Is a major issue now in Nigeria. Now, going to the labor market now that we are even talking about. Can you defend what you are holding? It's not that I have certificate, I have BSc, I have MSc. Some MSc holder, HND holder is even better than them.
That's interesting.
But people believe that, okay, it's because a university, forgetting that it is what you can able to what you can bring out that matters, not your certificate in your hand.
Beautiful.
Okay, so to buttress what Dr. Adebayo just said.
Okay.
Okay, let me give a scenario of a practical example of what we have in our school. We have students that we trained at ND level. After they are ND1 and ND2, they do a direct entry to the university. Now, majority of these students end up coming out with first class. We have cases like that. We have about 3 to 4 students like that. We were going on our normal routine outreach. Then we bumped into a parent who happens to be a principal of a particular secondary school. And lately we mentioned we are from Harvard College. It was like, wow, my daughter did ND at your school, and as I'm talking to you today, she's one of the best graduating students in her department. Now, what am I trying to say in the essence is, I think polytechnics are more of practically inclined than these universities. And if you look at it, for someone who attended a polytechnic, just like I was saying earlier, now after your ND1, students are exposed to the practical world, like what we call CWES. So they go for the 6 months, within 4 to 6 months series. Now, what do they do in that series? They are being attached to most of these industries to learn the hands-on desk work, like the practical aspect of it, which those in the university doesn't have that access to. We also have, when they are done with their ND2, they are also exposed to what we call industrial training, which is 1 year. They undergo that particular program for 1 year. So all these are practical knowledge that they are gaining, that which they have access to, which they are exposed to, which the students in university doesn't have access to. I went to a university. Fine. There are some departments in university that, okay, at your 300 level, after your 300 level, you are excited to go for what we call IT. But if you look at the IT, it's not really the main IT as per se, because now let me give myself an example. After my 300 level, we were told to go for industrial training, which was for 6 months. Now that 6 months, within that 6 months, some of us didn't even go. Now, what am I trying to say? That there is no kind of mediums to checkmate if the students actually went there, unlike the HND, which is part of the requirements, which is part of the prerequisites for you to move. Like, for example, if you are done with your ND, you cannot move to HND without that 1 year practical. So I feel like the end, to me, is a personal opinion though. I feel like the HND, that's the HND students, polytechnic students, are more exposed to practicals than the university.
Then, in addition to that, also, even do you know that NYC today, if you want to go for NYC and you finish from HND, you are HND holder. One of the requirements is that 1 year industrial attachment certificate, which MBT endorsed. So which means that they have make it in the proper way, that practical knowledge is there. Now, if you look at UK, for instance,
we have people have been calling things. Hello, the discrimination between HND and the bachelor's degree. Please, can you help us just summarize in 2-3 lines in Yoruba for our fathers and our mothers at home?
Okay, fún àǹfààní ẹ̀yin òbí wa àti ẹ̀yin tí ẹ̀ ń gbọ́ wa nílé, ohun tí à ń gbìyànjú láti sọ lónìí ni lórí ọ̀rọ̀ nípa discrimination, àbí ìbára jẹ́ fẹ́ sọ ní Yorùbá, tó wà láàrin èdè àìyedè tó wà láàrin àwọn tó ní HND àti àwọn tó ní tó lọ sí university, àwọn tó lọ sí polytechnic rather, àtàwọn tó lọ sí university. A sọ wípé ní ìbẹ̀rẹ̀ pẹ̀pẹ̀ pé báwo la ṣe kọ́ ohun tó ń jẹ́ polytechnic lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà. A sọ pé láti òkè òkun, pàápàá láti orílẹ̀‐èdè United Kingdom, àwọn orílẹ̀‐èdè United Kingdom ní ètò yìí ti bẹ̀rẹ̀, polytechnic ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní 1960s, pé ìgbà tó di 1988 wọ́n sọ gbogbo polytechnic kan náà, àwọn náà sọ di university. A wá sọ wípé nípa ìdí èyí, ohun tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ láàrin àwọn tó ń lọ sí polytechnic àti tó ń lọ sí university ò ju wípé ìjọba wa ló fà á. Nítorí pé nígbà tí wọ́n dá university polytechnic lẹ̀, ó ní òfin tí wọ́n ṣe. Lára àwọn òfin tó ṣe nígbà yẹn náà, òun ló wá ń fa èdè àìyedè yẹn náà ní èní. Nínú àwọn òfin tí wọ́n ṣe nígbà yẹn náà ní tó ń ṣe nígbà yẹn tó yẹ tó ń fa èdè àìyedè, àwọn rí pé polytechnic wọn ti gbìyànjú, wọ́n ti improve lórí pàápàá níbi requirement táwọn ọmọ fi ń wọ polytechnic láti ìbẹ̀rẹ̀, nígbà tó yẹ pé JAMB tẹ̀ ti take over gbogbo institution lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà, wípé tó o bá ní credit 5 pẹ̀lú mathematics and English o lè wá ní higher institution lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà. So kò wá yẹ kí àwọn ní pé kò wá yẹ kí discrimination yìí, kéde àìyedè yìí kó ṣì wà. A ní pé ẹwọ níbi iṣẹ́ ìjọba pàápàá, ó ní position tí ẹni tó ní HND lè dé, ẹni tó lọ sí polytechnic àti ibi tí ẹni tó lọ sí university lè dé. A wá rí pé àwọn tó jọ ṣe course kan ní polytechnic àti university, wọ́n á fẹ́ ẹni tó ṣe lọ sí university, wọ́n á fi ṣe ọ̀gá. So gbogbo nǹkan yìí la wá wò pé ìgbìyànjú ti wà, tó yẹ pé àjọ tó ń ṣe ètò lórí polytechnic lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà ti gbé àwọn ìgbésẹ̀ lóríṣiríṣi láti bá gbogbo ìjọba sọ̀rọ̀. Even pé ní ọdún tó kọjá, ní oṣù karùn-ún ọdún tó kọjá, pé wọ́n tún pe àwọn àjọ wọ̀nyí, wọ́n tún pe gbogbo àwọn tó jẹ́ stakeholders nínú ètò ẹ̀kọ́ lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà, pé even the former minister ń gbà yẹn fún ètò ẹ̀kọ́ ní ti ìpínlẹ̀, ìyẹn tá a mọ̀ sí Professor Sununu, gbogbo alájọ wà ń bẹ̀ tí wọ́n sọ ọ̀rọ̀ yìí toríṣiríṣi àbádẹ tó mú jáde tí wọ́n sì kọ àbá yìí tí wọ́n sì gbé síjọba pé ó dá o kí gbogbo polytechnic orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà o kí wọ́n má ṣe offer HND mọ́ kán sọ the Bachelor of Technology tó bá di pé a lè stop láti má máa ṣe kí èdè àìyedè yìí má wà kó má wáyé. So gbogbo yìí làwọn rí pé làwọn ń bẹ ìjọba pàápàá kán jọ̀wọ́ gbogbo nǹkan tí wọ́n ti sọ nípa ètò ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kí ìjọba yẹ̀ ẹ́ wò nítorí pé kì í ṣe pé àní ìjọba àtàwọn tó wà bẹ́ẹ̀ náà tó mọ ohun tó tọ́ láti ṣe wọ́n mọ̀ kíní yìí affect àwọn ọmọ wọ̀nyí. ọmọ tó lọ sí polytechnic ìmí inú wọn bẹ́tà ọmọ tó lọ sí university dára nígbà ọ̀nà nítorí pé tó bá tẹ̀lé pé ká ṣiṣẹ́ ká ṣe ọwọ́ even ní ibi tí polytechnic board àjọ tó dá wọn lẹ̀ wọ́n gbé oríṣiríṣi òfin lẹ̀dí tó bá fẹ́ ní polytechnic lẹ́nìí àwọn nǹkan tí NUC ò kí ń béèrè NBT á béèrè lọ́wọ́ yín kán tó lè fún yín ní approval. So gbogbo nǹkan wọ̀nyí la wá ń rọ ìjọba pé kó jọ̀wọ́ wọ́n má jẹ́ kí ọ̀rọ̀ polytechnic kó di ohun tí àwọn èèyàn ọmọ ò ní fẹ́ lọ mọ́ because ó ti ń di bẹ́ẹ̀ tó jẹ́ pé yunifásitì ni wọ́n wá. So abẹ̀jọba kán jọ̀wọ́ kán ràn polytechnic kán ràn wọ́n lọ́wọ́.
Thank you so much, Dr. Adebayo. Now we have come to the end of the episode today, and the winner for today is Mr. Karim from Agoka. Mr. Karim from Agoka, you are the winner of the show today. So Mr. Karim, 0806-460-490. And also, you can go on YouTube and watch at Harvard Edu Reality Show on YouTube. Thank you so much, Dr. Adebayo Oluwatosin, for coming to the show today, and thank you for always being inspirational.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Miss Mary Ebosimba, for being on the show as always.
Thank you, sir.
And thank you, Miss Kemi Aderoju behind the scenes. Thank you, Manfa. Till next week again, when we come your way on another explosive edition of the show. You can always go on YouTube, like I said, and go on Facebook to catch up on these episodes, and so that you can answer our questions conveniently. Together, we will make the world a better place. We'll see you next week.